Welcome, comrades, to another episode of Ramblin' Rednecks Revue. I'm Chris. That's Brits. It's been a while.
Brits with the tits.
That doesn't make.
Sorry.
Everybody, just about everybody has tits. So I mean, that's very generic. I think I deserve better. Honestly.
Okay, sorry.
But yeah, last week took a little hiatus. What was wrong with me? Oh
You had COVID or something?
No, it was RSV, and then.
Oh yeah, what's RSV? I meant to say that earlier, but I was like, he thinks I'm stupid.
It's something kids get.
RSV.
This is what happens when nobody gives a shit about keeping up with like diseases and shit. It just starts spreading and shit all over again. Well, anyway, also I had a nervous breakdown of sorts.
Yeah.
So I've decided that now this is not. I don't like, putting things in concrete terms. But I'm going to say I am making an attempt to stop drinking altogether because the 2-drink rule I put up a year ago actually worked for a while, and then it started getting out of hand to the point where, like, I've had some of the worst episodes in the last year, probably.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm too old for this shit. It's causing me. Hangover is one thing. 2 or 3 days of anxiety is just insane.
Yeah. Fuck that.
So we'll see. So that means I'm transitioning to a pothead, I guess.
Yeah, it's way more fun.
But I can't really get any. But anyway.
I told you that thing.
Yeah,
that might not say online. Let me know.
So anyway, I had a combo for a hot minute. So that was my reason. Britt was just, I don't know. She was just not. You were gonna do it, but I said no.
Yeah, you did say no.
Yeah, I did.
But I have been busy, man. But I'm winding down. Like, feels good. Like, today was the first day that I had nothing to do. That's why I was kind of like, if he wants to do it, we'll do it. But if he doesn't want to do it, I'm totally fine with that too. Because it's the first day I've had to do nothing all day.
Nothing says you have to go a full hour. You want to go half an hour or something.
Yeah, we're just gonna talk about this stuff and fucking get all this shit off our chests. Because it gets a little boring, like just watching Majority Report and like by yourself, you're watching Majority Report and fucking R.M. Brown.
I do that all the time. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I know, but I feel like I need to talk about it with people other than being talked to.
Really?
Yeah, because when I'm just being talked to, I feel like I'm a robot. I'm just put the information in and I'll spit it back out. It doesn't help to have a conversation with your friends.
If you're that lack of self-awareness, then you absolutely yes.
How's that lack of self-awareness?
Okay, that's you just can't. You're not able to process it critically through your own critical thinking. So you basically have to like pass it off to somebody else.
No. I'm saying that if you're just ingesting what they're putting out, you're not critically thinking either. After a while, you're not.
No, who? That's why you gotta stay ever vigilant, man.
I mean, I'm staying ever vigilant, but I'd like to talk about it with people sometimes.
You just like to talk. That's fine, but don't try.
I like to be social. What am I acting? I'm not trying to act like anything.
Social just gets me in trouble.
I'm saying I don't want to be those Fox News people that just sit around and watch Fox News and then regurgitate it.
Nobody's doing that. We're not PragerU or something.
I'm not saying that, but I know a lot of people that do that.
Well, a lot of people do a lot of stupid things. We are not two of them. Anyway, Britt, what's going on with the strike down there, the communist takeover?
Oh God, the communist takeover. I mean, it's a lot of the same. Like, people are getting restless. now like Drew Barrymore's starting up her projects, which she's like, oh, I'm trying to help like IATSE members and stuff, which I don't know, man. We've talked about how the other guilds and unions should feel. Like it's hard to have solidarity when you've been doing this for like 136 days now. Like people have been out of work for almost coming up on a year now because they did this thing at the beginning of last year, like before the strikes, where they like weren't making shows to see what happens with the strike. So a lot of people that are like IATSE members and Teamster members like haven't worked since like November of last year. So that's kind of the big thing that I'm seeing right now. I guess that's behind the curtain though. Like just hearing other unions are getting antsy.
Yeah. Well, didn't they say there seemed to be a rift in the producers? The between the streaming services and
Because what essentially that like union is, I say union, but I'm not meaning like a union, like a workers union. Like their group, they're all designed to work against each other, right? So the cracks are starting to form because now different companies are like, well, we're ready to go back to work and we can do these terms. But this, streaming company doesn't want to. And I think Netflix is the big thing because like Amazon and Apple have other products and other revenue streams, right? And Netflix like doesn't. So where some of these companies or studios more than the streamers want to negotiate, these other streamers don't. So now there's this big like all these talks of like, are the studios going to break away from the AMPTP and then split all that up, which I think is probably going to happen. So
So, in other words, nothing yet. But it's just
no, just a bunch of the same. It's weird too because like even if they came to agreement, they all have to vote on it, so that has to take some time. I don't know how much time. It felt like it took us a long time last time, but I can't really remember. And then like the industry like shuts down like pretty much after Thanksgiving. So we're already at this like kind of tipping point in the year. So I don't think anything's going to really be resolved until maybe the end of the year, or they'll start talking at the beginning of next year and then we'll get back to production January, February, March. That's a long time to be out of work for some people.
yep. It's test solidarity for sure. You know.
Yeah, that's the hard part about all this. But they're breaking too. Like,
You're always gonna have it. So I mean, there's not much you can do.
yeah, I keep seeing this meme that's being passed around. I hope you didn't post it, but it's just like it's not really a meme. It's just like one of those Facebook things. It's like just text, and it's like Hollywood is canceling your favorite shows to piss you off so that you'll be mad at the strikers, and it's like that's really not it at all. They've been doing this long before the strike. That's why the show I was on before For All Mankind, the show King Shaka, got canceled. It was already shot. They were just about to like shoot the last episode and finish it up, and then Showtime was like, "Nah, we're gonna write this off as a loss instead of like, having to come out and having to pay residuals and blah blah blah." They've been doing that for a long time now. So like, it's not really about the consumers at all. And if they pull shows or cancel them, they don't have to pay residuals. A lot of these shows that are being pulled off of streamers are because of residuals. They don't want to have to pay residuals if it's not a well performing show. Why would you pay residuals for that? And like a capitalist business standpoint, I guess is a good move, but it's not a good move for the workers.
Yeah, well. Oh, how cheerful that is. Okay.
Yeah. But without the workers, you wouldn't have the shows. So like,
Yeah.
which
So,
which one do you want?
Yeah. I don't think anybody with half a brain is going to question that.
Yeah.
Or anybody we know anyway.
Yeah. So Speaking of that, you want to watch this For All Mankind trailer?
Oh yeah.
So I haven't seen this at all. It does have a release date. Have you heard the release date?
Mm-mm.
It is like November 11th or something. Here.
They say we're running out of resources, that we won't be able to fix things. Well, they don't know that we are the resources. So when the universe calls, Helios answers. We build with other nations. We find new hope. Our future depends on us. Their future depends on us. We all want to find our place in this universe. We all want to leave a legacy. Destiny awaits. Come join us on Mars.
Oh shit, I didn't know that they were going to show you Ed already. November 10th. And didn't we talk about Ed, like what he's going to look like?
Oh yeah.
Look at, I mean, what do you think of his makeup?
That's pretty good. I didn't really recognize him at first.
It's pretty good. I swear, dude, I work on these shows that have these makeup jobs, and when I'm working on them, I'm like, God, this looks terrible. Like the audience is never gonna buy this. But you're telling me you buy this?
I don't know. I'm high. Don't be listening to me.
I guess maybe when you watch the show and you see how he kind of like moves, and you know how older people's like voices change from wear and tear, and his voice is like still the same. Like it's a little bit weird.
Yeah,
but...
I mean, yeah.
So what do you think?
I mean, I don't know if I'd rather have a whole picture rather than just that.
Yeah, this is just the teaser. It's just the Helios.
But I mean, yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah. Dude, the bane of my existence has been these fucking screens. This is my job. To fucking comp in these screens, go through 8,000 iterations of like what they wanted the letters to look like, what video they wanted here. We want it smaller, we want it bigger. We don't like these. So
It's too tedious.
Oh yeah, it fucking drove me nuts, dude. That's why I just want to sit around and play video games all day.
So yeah. So what do we got?
Let's see. We got this millionaire guy talking shit about workers and unemployment.
Yeah, he's one to talk.
You want to dive into this one?
Engage.
Okay. Hold on. I forgot how to do this. So this is like a little piece that I found on him. We don't have to watch all of it.
Property developer Tim Gurner after he accused workers of being arrogant. At a property summit yesterday, the 41-year-old claimed tradies are being paid a lot to do not much at all. And he says a massive rise in unemployment is needed to remind Aussies they're lucky to have jobs.
Unemployment has to jump 40, 50% in my view. We need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind people that they work for the employer, not the other way around. I mean, there's been a systematic change where employees feel the employer is extremely lucky to have them, as opposed to the other way around.
Bro, the fucking audacity of this guy to think that he owns people like you and me. Fuck you, dude.
No, they all think that way. They just don't say it out loud.
Holy shit.
You just all see. I mean, they're all like that.
Okay, that's pretty much the end of that. But yeah, I mean.
But yeah, to hear it out loud, it's just like, wow.
I get. I mean, we've been saying for forever how great capitalism is and how great like bosses and everything. I mean, it's bound to happen.
I mean,
to say the quiet part out loud.
I mean, I guess. I mean, it's happened before. I mean, I don't think anybody seriously at this point thinks it's all on the up and up. I think everybody knows it's a goddamn scam. You know.
Yeah. I think even like right-leaning people are starting to figure it out. They're just so confused about the source. I mean, that's it, right? It's like,
I'm eating those goddamn fudge rounds all the fucking time. That's fun.
Man, I wish I was hearing stories about like fudge rounds being sold out and shit.
Those are pretty good. They're not the best, but they're pretty good. As
Yeah.
far as Debbie's snack cakes.
Yeah. I mean,
And
he's
then
that. What? They're little Debbie's.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that guy's the perfect example of like how he's fed up with capitalism, but he's so like brainwashed into believing all this American propaganda that he can't. He's so turned around that he can't like point himself in the real direction of like how to fix this
Well,
shit.
he's young. I don't. Whatever.
He's young. That guy's not young.
Ish. I don't know. He's young intellectually. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. It takes a while to overcome that kind of shit. You know.
He's 31. Yeah, I mean, he's 31, and I didn't do it until like I was 35.
Yeah, bruh, I wasn't thinking about nothing but fucking getting laid and getting drunk in my 20s. Shit
Yeah.
didn't happen till like 29 or 30 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I did see where he like canceled a concert because the tickets were too expensive.
I saw that. He didn't go on Midwest Marks because he was at Burning Man and got stuck there. Which I think sounds like a load of bullshit. And I watched the stream. Like, they did a stream anyways. And they were like, oh, we'll get him next time. Fuck no. That guy decided that he didn't want to be on a Marxist show. Because he's been doing Rogan.
So,
He was on Jordan Peterson.
So there's no harm in it. You get better. You get more eyes, honestly.
Yeah, but you're going to be, you're one of the biggest things in the world right now. People would have seen that podcast, seen those guys talking crazy shit about communism and stuff, and they'd have been like, Oliver Anthony's a fucking communist. He went out in Midwest Marks.
No, I don't think he gives at least at this point, I don't think he really gives a shit. Because he went off, I can't believe he went, I mean, I can believe he went on Peterson. He's already said he's a centrist, I think.
Yeah, I thought for a second there, like, we might have him, but
Nah,
when he canceled on Midwest Marks is when I was like, oh yeah, we don't have him. He went on Jordan Peterson and shit. Like, he didn't want to do this.
I got money.
Yeah. There was no reason for him to do Midwest Marks. I don't even know how. Let's see how many subscribers they have.
Hardly any.
I love Midwest Marks. They're awesome. The people that give them shit are fucking stupid. They have like 36,000 subscribers. So, like, what? You go on a 36,000 subscriber podcast, or you go on Joe Rogan?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You know, it depends. It depends on what your goal is, I guess. If you're trying to get your name out there, hell, you're getting a lot more of a reach from Joe Rogan than you are them.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, after you can't go on a show like Midwestern Marks after you went on Jordan Peterson and Joe Rogan. Because the people who have clung on to you then will then see you on a Marxist show and be like, what the fuck is this guy doing? They thought that they were going to, like, talk him, and I felt the same way. I was like, man, if I could just talk to this guy, I could, like, talk him into leftism or whatever, but it wasn't going to happen, dude.
As long as he's not actively harming, honestly.
I guess.
At this point, the expectations are so low. As long as you're not actively harming someone.
Well, I mean, I guess he's actively harming people who buy fudge rounds with EBT cards.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Hey, Mama, did you hear what they're saying? He likes fudge rounds. It would just right over there. All they heard is fudge rounds. They got hungry, which I don't blame them. So do I.
But it is kind of good to see this. There's a little bit of a return to in country music, like a return to like that, like working class, like we hate the boss, but it's mixed in with like this fucking capitalist propaganda that's just
No,
we
that's
got.
not all of them. That just happens to be like, what's his name?
Yeah, there is a lot of them. I tend to save a bunch of. If I hear a country artist that's like really good, has a good message, I'll save them back. So,
Yeah.
anyways, what were we saying? That billionaire guy? Fuck that guy.
Oh yeah, guillotine, baby. I mean, yeah. What else can you say? Just the guillotine.
Yeah, dude.
And just hang his head up for the vultures or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna take the proletariat getting violent. Okay. Like, I don't think there's any peaceful way out of this. Like, they literally want to enslave us. That guy literally thinks that people like you and me owe him our time to make whatever product he wants us to fucking make or sell.
It's been
Fuck
the
you,
way
dude.
it's been since the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah, but this is America, baby. We are free in America, and I'm free to say fuck you to the boss. Okay.
You're free. You're right. You are free to do
And you're
that.
free to fire me, and I'm free to go to another fucking job.
If you can find one.
If you, well, yeah, in 2023, that's fucking not good. So, all right, well, maybe this will be more fun to talk about. John Kennedy reading graphic quotes from a child's, but I don't really know anything about this. Do I need to know any pretext about this before I play this?
No.
Like, why are they doing this? They're just.
It's the stupid book ban book, House Committee on Book Burning, basically is what it is.
Is this a state?
No, this is federal. This is the House of Representatives.
Okay. All right, let's see what
Chairman,
he's this is the guy who said hire a crackhead, by the way, right?
Fighting crime.
Which, yeah, you always hire a crackhead, dude.
I confess I'm a little confused, and I appreciate
This is kind
the
of long,
argument
so
that we've,
just
or
tell me when to
discussion
stop.
that we've been having, but for me,
don't
it's a
have
little too conceptual, or I don't know, metaphysical or theological.
This
or
guy,
whatever
like,
you wanna call it.
graduated
I
from
want to try to
Harvard.
understand what
Oh, he's a
you're
Rhodes
asking
Scholar.
us
Did you
to
know
do.
that?
Let's
No
take
way.
Oh, yeah.
two books
Fake
that have
bastard.
been much discussed. The first one is called All Boys Aren't Blue.
Again,
I will
don't play
quote
the whole
from
thing.
I put some lube on and got him on his knees. And I began to slide into him from behind. I pulled out of him and kissed him while he masturbated. He asked me to turn over
This is
while
really
he
from a
slipped
book?
a condom on himself.
Yeah.
This was my ass, and I was struggling to imagine someone inside.
Okay, that's.
He got on top and slipped.
Hold on, this is a real book?
Yeah, he just told you he's Blue Boy or whatever it is.
Oh, not all boys. But what? So what's the context of this, though?
It's only for high schoolers, I think.
All boys aren't blue. Yeah, he's trying to tell me it's for children?
Yeah, they always say this. They always say that they're giving kids these books, which is just not true. Do you think a kid gives a shit about shit like they can barely? They're still playing with puzzles and shit, motherfucker.
It says, yeah, all boys aren't blue is a young adult nonfiction memoir manifesto.
Yeah, so it's 19, 1782.
Hold on. It's okay for my mom to read this type of shit if it's cowboys and fancy ladies from England, but it's not okay. If
It's okay as long as it's white people.
Or
Just
white
straight
people in
Well, even then they hate porn,
Native
right?
Americans.
But when it was just white people doing white things, then it was easier to take. Now the brown people have gotten involved. It's too much, man. Shut it all down.
And also, I was reading Star Wars fan fiction when I was 15 that had this type of language in it, and I was actively searching it out. So they're gonna read this shit whether they want to read it or not, right?
Yeah, that's such a stupid argument.
Don't talk to me about fan fiction. All right, go on.
Slowly inserted himself into me. It was the worst pain I think I have ever felt in my life. Eventually, I felt a mix of pleasure with the pain. Close quote. All boys aren't blue.
Okay, that's it.
The second is
You don't need to say.
another much.
Huh?
Are you gonna get? Oh my god. It's
We're gonna get.
painful.
We're gonna get what?
You're just gonna watch the whole fucking thing?
Sure, why not?
Okay, good.
I don't want to just watch the clips, man.
Okay, good.
Discuss book. I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's called Genderqueer.
Okay, all right.
Let me read an excerpt from that. Quote, I got a new strap-on harness today. I can't wait to put it on you. It will fit my favorite dildo perfectly. You're going to look so hot. I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
Bro, I don't care what you do with the book. Just being able to listen to a senator or a congressman say that kind of shit is fucking worth it, man. Oh.
I don't know what to say anymore, man. Rhodes Scholar, this motherfucker. Just remember that.
I mean, it is a little graphic, I guess, but
Okay, so the fuck what? I mean, have you been on the internet? I mean, come on.
yeah, I probably watched the most disgusting shit you can find on the
You
internet.
know, some states are trying to fucking block it and all that God.
Yeah, if they block my Pornhub, I'm gonna be pissed.
They can't. As long as you have a VPN.
True that. I mean, all right, so what else does this guy
End
say?
quote.
What's his arguments
Now-
like?
Mr. Secretary, what are you asking us to do? Are you suggesting that only librarians should decide whether the two books that I just referenced should be available to kids? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Okay. Tell me what you're saying.
Well, first of all, there's this.
Don't give me a speech. Tell me what you're asking me to do.
With all due respect, Senator, and, the words you spoke are disturbing, especially coming out of your mouth is very disturbing. But what I would also tell
Yes.
you that we're not advocating for kids to read porn, to Senator Booker's
What
point.
are you advocating for?
We are advocating for parents, random parents, not to have the ability, under the guise of keeping kids safe, to try and challenge the world view of every single manner on these issues.
You're getting conceptual game.
I'm not getting conceptual. I'm saying
yes,
that
you are. Yes, you are. Because
What?
I want to know what you're recommending. It sounds to me like what some of you are saying, the librarians should decide who gets to see that book.
Well, they're arguing two different arguments, right?
I'm confused, honestly.
Because like the senator is just like trying to censor this book so that little kids can't read, little kids, quote unquote. And then this guy is just saying like, hey, the parents, the other parents shouldn't make the decision for the parents of the kids that want that they have allowed to read this book, right?
Oh, yeah, okay.
So that makes sense. To me, it does.
I guess.
Who's this guy? I like his outfit.
Cameron, tell me what you're proposing.
It's pronounced Nix.
Mix? Is that how would you like me to do
Hold on,
something?
hold on.
You ought to be able, in 30 seconds, to be able to explain what
Senator-
you're asking us to do.
Senator-
Ms. Kelly, what do you understand? Well, let me skip you for a second. Mr. Cameron, tell me what you...
What, could he not read that kid's last name or something?
He absolutely can. He's the biggest fraud ever.
All right,
You're
let's see what this kid has to say.
Pronounced Nix.
Mix? Is that how would you like me to refer to you?
Senator, your definition of sexual is synonymous with LGBTQ identity.
I'm not
Library,
asking you that. I'm asking you to tell me you read those two excerpts. Do you
genderqueer.
think that are you asking that only librarians and not parents have any say in whether minors can read those books? Is that what you're saying?
Genderqueer has never been in my school library, so it's never been banned.
Well, suppose it was. Should it be up just to the librarian, or should parents have a say?
There should be facilitation of collaboration between
Should
students,
parents have
and
a say?
educators. Parents should be working with students and educators to be
Okay.
making decisions, because
All
students
right.
are
And who
these-
decides ultimately? The librarian, or do you take a vote?
This is
or
some
who takes the
authoritarian
vote?
shit, right?
book review committees in the community in my school district.
You want a committee to decide?
There are committees.
Okay. Well, I'm asking you, how do we decide whether the two books that I just referenced should be available in the library? What would you, if you were running things, what would you do?
All Boys Aren't Blue, the scene you mentioned, is about sexual abuse.
I know what it's about.
It's not
What would you
erotic.
do in terms of making the books available?
Okay.
Would you say anybody can see them, or they have to be in a special session?
Students who do not read books like All Boys Aren't Blue cannot learn what is
I
appropriate.
understand that.
They cannot learn
I understand, but none
about
of you want to
abuse.
answer my question. You come here and you say censorship is bad, and of course it's bad. But the obvious response is, okay, you heard the books we're talking about. Okay, we're not talking about Catcher in the Rye. So tell me what you want, who gets to decide. And all I've heard is the librarians.
I haven't heard a
And parents have
single- Has anybody said the word librarian besides them?
It's it's part of the whole demonization of any teachers, anybody like that, public
Yeah.
teachers.
Again, this goes to this is what we're arguing about when fucking people can't pay their rent. Is that the wrong way to look at it?
That's GOP, man.
Like, we really care so much about what teenagers are reading.
No, it's a distraction. They don't have any policies, so they just throw it out there. They
Yeah.
just throw and see whatever get them elected, and then they get, of course, they give all the love to the NRA and major corporations.
It's the same fucking satanic panic from the 80s and all that shit.
I guess.
I mean, it's like an extension of it. It always goes back to fucking the Bible. But the Bible says,
I don't know. The Bible, the Bible Belt. I mean, man, I wish I could get out of here, honestly. But
I know when people are like, why don't you move somewhere else? I want to be like, with
you
what?
paying?
Yeah. Because this is what the president is saying about the auto strikes.
President, are you worried about an auto strike? An auto strike? KW? Mr. President,
Wow, he doesn't think it's going to happen.
Good old Grandpa Joe.
Oh my god, dude. They are all so fucking old, I can't fucking handle it anymore.
It's the oldest Congress in history. Do you know that?
Yeah, I didn't know that, but I believe it. I mean, how old were like the founding fathers when they founded the country?
Oh, interesting fact. They were not very old at all. They're in their 20s.
I know, I'm looking up founding fathers' ages in 1776. James Monroe was 18.
Yep.
Aaron Burr, 20. Alexander Hamilton, 21.
That's just crazy to me.
Thomas Jefferson, 33. John Adams, 44. Paul Revere, 41. George Washington was 44. You are older than George Washington was in 1776. They could be the grandkids of the people that are in office right now.
What? No.
I mean, 18 years old. James Monroe, 18 years old.
No, I'm going to need you to do some calculations on that because
What? I was like
Um,
18 and I had grandparents that were 74.
I guess. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I was 19 when my granddad passed away and he was 74. 74.
was that 20? 28? No. What? 30.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, so that's your boy Biden, and the strike is, I forget what the date is, or the deadline, but I really like to mention that this guy's name is Sean Fain, and that sounds too much like Sinn Fein to me to be a coincidence. That's some straight up IRA, guerrilla, communist guerrilla shit right there.
Yeah, I got a clip of him from CNBC. I heard this guy like got elected not too long ago too.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah.
He's like fairly new, but
Sean Payne, President of the United Auto Workers, joining us from Detroit. Sean, thanks for joining us this morning. Lots to discuss here. Let's start first off with where negotiations stand right now. Less than 48 hours until the deadline. Is the union coming off of its request or demand, I should say, for a pay hike of 36% over the next 4.5 years?
We're asking for double-digit pay increases. We have been. We've been very upfront about that from the get-go. And what's good for the CEOs is good for the members. Our members help generate those massive profits. $250 billion in profits they've recognized in the last decade. 21 billion in profits the big three have recognized in the first 6 months. So, the CEOs gave themselves a 40% pay increase over the last 4 years. Our members deserve a hell of a lot better than where they are. We went backwards in wages in the last decade.
Yep.
But just to put a finer point on this, you say double digit. Have you come down to 30% or below 30% as a demand in terms of the wage increase over the life of the next contract?
No.
Damn, they want
You're
30
still at
30%. Oh,
We've been at 40% was our demand. And, we've been having conversations with the company, but 40% was our demand. What's good for the CEOs is good for our members.
Damn.
Let's talk about the video call you held last night with the leaders of your local union shops around the country, where you updated them on the negotiations. And you said, look, at this point, we're probably going to do targeted strikes if there are strikes that start after 11:59 on Thursday night. And instead of saying we're striking everywhere all at once. And in the call, it was portrayed by more than a few people that you were not optimistic that you could reach an agreement by Thursday night, essentially saying we're going to see targeted strikes at all three of the automakers. Is that a fair characterization?
Not really. I mean, we can get an agreement, but it's unfortunate. Like we gave the companies our demands earlier than we ever have in the history of our bargaining. This is my fifth set of national negotiations, and typically the economic demands don't come into play until the final few weeks. We gave them those demands 5 weeks ago. We told the companies from the onset of bargaining that we expect to bargain now, not delay till the very end, and expect everything to fall off the table. If they chose that path, it wouldn't be good. We've been very consistent in our message that September 14th is a deadline, not a reference point, and we expect all three companies to have that agreement. If they don't, then there will be action. So, so we can get there, but the companies need to get serious and buckle down. And, we're 48 hours away, so we have a lot of work to do in 48 hours.
Damn, I wish our leadership was like that.
UAW is notorious being hard-nosed, but they're also notorious for being corrupt. So, I mean...
Being crooks? Is that what you said?
Yeah, corrupt. I mean,
don't
you remember Jimmy Hoffa?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. That's the Teamsters. Whatever.
Yeah,
They're probably corrupt too. Whatever.
Let's see. I have some other strike stuff here, but I don't really. I don't really know
what. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's important. I don't know if they get anything out of that, and then the writers and the the actors SAG are successful. Then that's a huge win for labor.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with inflation, all this shit, like, we have to see wages rise. Like, this is ridiculous, man. And I was thinking about this earlier, like, because I'm quick to throw around the word like Marxism, blah blah blah, just because I like to troll and shit. But like a lot of this, even though it is like Marxist theory or whatever, like or theory from Karl Marx, like this is just our lives. Like this doesn't have anything to do with Marxism. This is literally the means of production, like being completely taken away from the workers. There would be no cars if there were no car workers. Like I don't know how much they could automate that, to be honest with you. And like that industry would collapse. Like with our industry, you at least have hundreds of thousands of TV shows and movies to like sustain you if we collapsed and never made a TV show or a movie again. But if you never make a car again, all those companies would go out of business so fast. I don't think they can sustain a strike as long as Hollywood has.
I don't know. It depends.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I know their membership is pretty big, so I'm sure there's plenty of resources.
Yeah.
I don't know how much, but
yeah.
I mean, for something like that, that's something to fight for right there. I mean, that number they put out there is pretty ballsy. That's how you should be doing it.
Yeah, I've never heard 40%. Like, good lord, man. But that's what they deserve, man.
That's what everybody deserves to be fair, honestly.
Yeah.
Minimum wage should be like that, honestly.
If you're helping create a product, whatever that product may be, if you're putting your labor into that product, you should be compensated like equally. Like, I don't understand the audacity of these CEOs to be like, I deserve more when you did nothing. Even if you did invest in this company to get it started, like, you invested, but the workers still brought you the product. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know, man. It's just, at this point, I just like, put them all against the wall.
I know. That's it too. Is like I feel like when I talk about this with other people, people are too scared of violence. Like, I think violence is unavoidable.
I am scared of violence. I'm not a violent person. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you. I mean, I can talk shit all day, but when the push comes to shove, who knows? Nobody knows.
I know. Does that make me like tanky or fascist? That I'm like,
oh yeah, totally. No, totally.
Guillotine them bitches up, dude. Do what they do in like Afghanistan, where they like hang them from a fucking crane in the middle of the city, and let you just rot in the sun.
Maybe you need to stop talking.
I'm sorry, dude. Like,
you could be on the front lines, okay? How about that? We'll let you be the soldiers, and I won't be back here.
I'm too fat to be the soldier to me.
No, you can firm that shit up.
I mean, I guess, but
you be a tank, baby. Come on.
You want me to be a tanky or for real tanky?
I don't know, something.
But
you can beef up. You get all beefy and.
Listen, I support the Viet Cong, so.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Those are some violent communists, dude.
But where the fuck did that even come from?
I don't know. I'm just saying. It has some good ideas.
You got issues.
Sorry.
A lot of issues.
Sorry.
Anyway.
Yeah, here, let's watch this video.
For the big three to reach a new contract agreement with United Auto Workers.
This is from 8 hours ago. So tomorrow, today is Thursday, so I guess we should know something soon, right? Didn't they say the 14th?
Walking away from a steady income, which impacts their families and sends a ripple effect from the production line to small businesses to the people trying to buy a car. So we're starting this day by putting everything into perspective because this has such a huge impact on our area and the rest of the country. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday. I'm Brandon Hudson.
Okay,
and I'm Amy Andrews. This morning we're learning numerous counteroffers from Stellantis, General Motors, and Ford have been rejected by the UAW in recent weeks.
Yeah, union leaders say that a strike is not the goal but they will have to do what they have to do to get a fair deal and show their worth. Fox News' Robert Murdoch is keeping an eye on the situation. He joins us live from downtown Detroit. What is the feeling down there? Because on the one hand, you have this auto show, but on the other hand, you have people that are waiting to see if a strike is going to happen.
You know, I think there's a lot of just anticipation, everybody wondering what this next move will be in this situation. As you know, they have been in contract negotiations since mid-July, and we are now just hours away from the deadline, from those contracts actually expiring. Now, as you guys know, Sean Fain, the president of the UAW, he's been really good all along about giving updates on social media to let everybody know, to let the membership know exactly how these contracts are going. Well, they say that they are ready to react. They are ready to take action. They have been practicing picketing, and soon you could see the real deal.
Practicing picketing?
The UAW doesn't back down from a fight. We're willing to do what's necessary to win justice by any means necessary.
Sean Fain, the president of the UAW, once again taking to Facebook Live to update union membership.
Hold on. I just want to know, just real quick, who do you think he voted for in 2020?
What?
Who do you think he voted for in 2020? I bet he voted for Trump.
Who gives a shit?
How contract talks are going, and once again telling that membership to get ready to strike at 11:59 tonight. That is when the first wave of walkouts would happen.
Anxious, nervous, kind of like the moments before a big boxing match, but we're ready.
This man among the local 51 workers at the truck plant in Dearborn that took part in a practice picket on Wednesday. Fain says a strike involving Ford, Stellantis, and General Motors at this same time would be historic, that they would start small and then expand as needed to put more pressure on the big three.
In the spirit of the sit-down strike, the stand-up strike will keep the companies guessing. It's going to rely on discipline, organization, and creativity.
Sit-down strikes were a popular union tactic in the 1930s in which workers would bring production to a halt and basically take over a plant. According to Fain, the latest offers on the table included 20% pay raise by Ford. GM has proposed an 18% increase, while Stellantis is willing to give auto workers a 17.5% spike.
Still optimistic that we'll get a deal, but there is a limit. And because we have to protect for the future investments and the profit.
I like my next yacht.
Jim Farley, the CEO of Ford, says its offer is the most generous in some 80 years. However, the UAW believes all three can do better. Numbers compiled by the union show combined they have made $250 billion in North American profits in the last decade alone. We are told some workers can't even afford to buy what they are building.
Over the past almost 17 years of my 25 years, it's went from we were treated like gold to where now we're the bottom of the barrel, and we're up here just breaking our backs just to try to feed our kids.
So if this does end up going to a strike, as you just heard, there will not be a complete work stoppage at first. Now, Fain does plan to update union membership at 10 o'clock tonight about whether they will strike, whether they will walk off the job, and which locations will walk off first if that is the case, if there is no deal reached. We'll, of course, keep you posted, though. For now, we are live outside Huntington Place. I'm Robin Murdoch. I'll send it back to you.
So, Robin, if a strike does happen, when do the negotiation talks continue?
You know, that's a very good question, Brandon. According to Fain, there will be no negotiations on Friday, no talks at all scheduled tomorrow. That is because these union leaders, these labor leaders who have been involved in these negotiations the entire time, they plan to walk the picket line with these union workers, a sign of solidarity.
As of an hour ago, it was reported that they have not reached a deal. So they have till midnight tonight.
Happy strike, miss.
Yeah. You can't get that new car you've been trying to get, Chris. I know. I drive a 2010 Honda CRV, And my parents are like, "You really need to get a new car." And I'm like, "I ain't fucking buying a new car right now. Are you serious?"
Yeah, no.
I take care of my car, man.
My car's 10 years old. And
Yeah.
it's ugly. It's ugly, but it's mechanically sound.
Yeah, mine's getting a bunch of dents and stuff in it. So like, and it's getting.
I hit a
like,
deer.
old.
I hit a deer.
What the fuck? Did you kill it?
I don't think so.
Like in the front?
Yeah, I glanced it. Like,
Dude,
so
I had a. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. All right.
No, I was like, it didn't hit me head on. Thank God. That'd have been the whole thing. But
It like bounced off the corner of your car.
yeah, there was some dude behind me. He's like, "Oh shit, man, you." And then we made hot love. No, we didn't.
Oh shit.
I don't know where that even came from.
I was driving one time and a deer like came up beside me and then like got a wild hair in his head and then like hit my car and then went off the other direction. Deer are wild, man. They're crazy.
This is for the pack.
Yeah.
Herd, I guess.
I was like, I didn't do anything to you, man. What?
This is for all my brethren.
Yeah.
In the struggle, like the orcas.
Yeah. That would be awesome if deer just started attacking Bentleys and Teslas and BMWs.
Just don't fucking know. There's nothing to fuck with. Maybe they'll help me fix mine.
Yeah, true. Man, I'm so like I get so much road rage to dudes with like Teslas and shit. If there's a Tesla that cuts me off, I get so pissed.
Yeah, I get a little irritated. I don't like those fucking don't tread on me fucking.
Yeah.
I hate those things.
I want to put a hammer and sickle on my car just to piss people off, but I'm scared people will bust my windows or something.
Give it a shot. See what happens. Put a camera back
I
there.
don't give a fuck, dude. Fuck you, dude. It's America. I can put hammer and sickle all I want.
You're in California. Try
Yeah.
that here.
Yeah, they're not gonna do anything out there. But I mean, why couldn't I fucking put a hammer and sickle on my car? If
Nobody who's saying okay, are you cancel culture now? What's happening?
if these guys can do this,
Though anti-Semitic rallies in Central Florida over the weekend.
when is this from though?
Outrage and calls for action.
This is from a year ago.
Glad you're with us tonight. I'm not off.
And I'm Lisa Bell. Demonstrators wearing Nazi clothing could be seen near UCF on Saturday and on an overpass along I-4 on Sunday. Some of you were even sending pictures into our newsroom.
Let's go, Brandon. I wonder who they voted for.
To be honest, speaking
That's
with Jewish community leaders. But first, we begin with News 6's Eric Von Inken, who has the very latest on how
I used to
government and
live
county leaders are reacting
where this guy
and
is.
The investigation into these demonstrations, Eric.
Police of the Orange County Sheriff's Office tells me that right now they're trying to determine, did a crime occur here at this demonstration this weekend? Was it more than just a legal demonstration? Hateful or not, they say was a crime committed when a fight broke out here. Men and women with neo-Nazi armbands, flags, and posters stood on the corner of this Waterford Lakes intersection on Saturday, shouting words of white supremacist hate.
They're like, we're not neo-Nazis. We're just the bad guys from Indiana Jones.
Nice.
Orange County Sheriff's deputies confirmed this video is part of their active and open investigation.
We're just
into the
stormtroopers,
demonstration.
man.
And this part of the video, a
Just
fight in
cosplaying
the
some
street.
stormtroopers.
Investigators say involved the demonstrators and a passerby. UCF Chabad Rabbi Chaim Lipsier says it was a Jewish UCF student who was punched in the video.
Yes, it was a Jewish UCF student that kind of got.
That's where I went to school, UCF.
Altercation with them. They pepper sprayed him and they spit on him and shoved him around and stuff like that.
Also over the weekend, troopers broke up this demonstration of hate on an I-4 overpass in Orlando, telling News 6 it's illegal to obstruct traffic or hang signs on overpasses. Local leaders almost immediately condemned the hate. State Representative Anna Escamani was among the first last night, followed by the Orange County Sheriff, the Orlando Mayor, the Orlando Police Chief, State Senator Randolph Bracey, Florida Senate President Wilton Simmons.
Well, they see her
today,
stoked it.
U.S.
They're
Senator
saying
Rick
they
Scott,
hate it.
and just this afternoon, Governor Ron DeSantis.
We're going to take our record in Florida and what we've done, sign the strongest anti-Semitism bill in the country. We've stared down companies who were indulged in BDS like Airbnb, and we've won. We've provided record funding for Jewish day schools, and we've had the strongest relationship between Florida and Israel than we ever had in terms of education, business, all these tremendous things that have happened since our state visit in 2019.
How do you think those Jewish people in Israel feel about Nazis?
God,
I know.
The governor also strongly pushed back, he says, against inferences from Democrats.
Okay. All that to say, like, this was 10 days ago. So, let's see.
Posting videos on social media showing
10 days ago.
gathering outside of Disney World as well as suburban
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
flying swastika flags and some slurs as well as child labor. They reportedly gathered outside of
Why is this not in like Jacksonville and
Saturday.
shit where
Sheriff's
they're
deputies were
real
dispatched, no
Nazis?
reports of arrests made, and State Representative Anna
It's
Escamani posted a video taken
it's
in a
virtue
suburban
signaling,
area about
actually.
12 miles north of Orlando. That
They're
group
like, hey, look, we're here.
everywhere. And Representative Escamani joins us now. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Natasha.
And we know many of these posts we're seeing from Floridians, they seem so concerned about this and frankly shocked to see it outside of Disney World. What is the emotion for you this weekend as you were watching this pour in?
Incredibly disturbing and unsettling. I mean, candidly, one Nazi is too many, but to see gatherings outside Walt Disney World and then in this neighborhood park, I mean, for those who know the area, Altamont Springs, Crane's Roost Park is more for locals compared to tourists. And so to
Yeah, that's
see
weird.
Nazis gather there and march through and chant was very unsettling. And many residents contacted us scared and fearful and upset by what they saw.
Yeah, and in the video that you shared, they go on to yell Heil Hitler. They perform a Nazi salute. And I just want to be clear about this. This video we're looking at from far away is one of many videos that we are seeing, others much closer up, and you can see the details of these videos. In many of them, their faces are completely covered. What do you make of that?
Well, it's so ironic because a lot of these are individuals that
Antifa.
cry about, wearing a mask for COVID, yet they wear a mask when they're saying hateful and bigoted
Yeah.
things. But again, it also speaks to how they even know that this behavior is inappropriate and un-American, to hold values that are anti-Semitic, that discriminate against communities of color, and to do so in an area that's incredibly diverse. They know that it's inappropriate and not something that fellow Americans support. And indeed, there was a great deal of outrage from everyday people contacting us, contacting other elected officials, asking for action in the face of this bigotry.
Yeah, and there's a video from the Orlando area of all of this where a specific pro-Trump personality actually shows up, and this group hurls slurs at her and then says, "We are not voting for Trump." What do you make of this?
Well, I don't think it's surprising to hear Nazis lie and spread confusion. Candidly, I don't think that Nazis align with the political figure. I think they hold far-right viewpoints, as we see in nations across the world that are focused on white supremacy. So I do think at the end of the day, if they're voting, which I don't know if they do, they're going to vote for candidates that reflect values of white supremacy, regardless of who that is. But just like any other community, there's going to be disagreement. But that's why my concern is more focused on their ideology versus ideology of specific politicians, because I think what's most scary is that there are politicians that flirt with their ideology and oftentimes espouse parts of it. But to see this type of just public display, regardless of the political candidates around us, is very disturbing.
And I know the Anti-Defamation League actually warned about this happening days in advance. They said that two extremist groups were chattering about doing this. And there is a fine line between giving additional platform here and just covering what's happening. So, Representative, I just want to ask, what is your message to Floridians, especially families going to Disney World in these suburban areas
Yeah, like,
this weekend? Who
talk
were
about things you
really
don't want your
scared by
kids to
this?
see.
But we need politicians and elected leaders and community leaders to speak out against this and to make sure that the community knows that this does not reflect who we are as Central Floridians. But I also think it's important to point out that radicalization is real, that people can be radicalized to hold awful positions and to do awful things, as we saw with the murder of 3 African Americans in Jacksonville at the hands of someone who drew swastikas on his rifle. So very important to be aware of the power of radicalization and do what we can to call it out and fight back.
Okay, Florida Representative Anna Escamani, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining.
Okay, that's the difference between Jacksonville and Orlando. They actually kill people in Jacksonville. They march around like idiots in Orlando.
It's Disney World, bro. That's a whole other world. And you ain't gonna try to come up and fuck with Disney World. People.
I don't understand why Disney doesn't make them move. That is Disney property. Can't they be like, this is private property, get the fuck out of here?
I actually don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I don't know. Well, remember you said it was a public park.
Okay, that was a public park, but where they were standing in front of that Disney sign.
Well, maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
No, that's on Disney. Disney owns like a city in Orlando.
I know that, but okay. Well, I don't know. Anyway, whatever. That's fucked up. But to sit there and act like it's it's just so wild to me. People buy this shit, man. They're making it up as like they're the ones. They're the ones, and it's coming from the house. Is that what the kids say? It's coming.
What?
The sound's coming. The voice is coming from inside the house or something.
I don't know.
Anyway, whatever.
That must be some Gen X thing. I don't know.
I'm saying it's fuck off, bitch. What's? I can't even remember what I was talking about. Okay, we're peaking now. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you're peaking.
I'm just checking the time because I have a theory.
What?
Well, I try to measure when it hits because the shit's so slow.
Oh yeah. Okay.
6 o'clock. Yeah, that's probably about right.
Well, that is all that I got.
Well, I don't have anything more. It's been a rough week for me, so
yeah,
my brain's still kind of. Well, this week hadn't been bad. Although I will say, just real quick, that even though it's only been like 2 weeks or something since I stopped drinking, it's hard to say if it's psychosomatic or not. But it seems like I'm not as anxious and I sleep better, I guess. Although
well, yeah, you're not poisoning your body.
Well, that's literally what I said to myself. I was like, yeah, you're not poisoning, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, don't be so hard on yourself, Chris. And then I talked to myself for about 2 hours.
Out loud or in your head?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I know, I do a little bit of both too.
Anyway, so just a little optimism, I guess, at the end. Something to... Still got roaches, but we're working on that too. So,
yeah,
one thing at a time. Anyway, all right, Britt. Well, I have been the one saying stupid things all night, I think. So,
yeah, you don't seem to agree with me on anything tonight.
What? I don't agree with that.
All right. Well, okay,
wait.
so.
Okay.
You're
What?
playing yourself out?
Yeah. So, until next time, Britt and Chris say, okay. If we were watching this audio, you wouldn't have saw that vulgar gesture, which frankly made me a little nauseous.
That's
so
why I'm not a lesbian.
All right. Anyway, on that note, make sure you tell your friends and your local raccoons and cats and such you love them.